Hello everyone, this is the first video of the course and in this we are going to discuss how we are going to assess or judge the management of the company and why it is important. I mean here including me and most of the viewers who are watching this video are mostly passive investors, not the full-timer. When investing we want it to be passive and also it has to generate secondary income, so we don't want to check our stocks every day. Here if we need to track it daily means then it's not a good thing. It's like we running the company full-time. Obviously we don't want to do that. We want management to do it properly. Hence, as an investor, we do rely on the management to make the good decisions. So judging them before investment on the stock will help us to understand their thinking and the company's potential, like how the business is going to perform in future. Again, not 100%, but that will give us some rough idea. Basically, I'm going to recommend to look for 4 simple things. First is honesty. I mean, in the history, most of the company who went bankrupt or the stock price crashed is associated with a lack of honesty. So it is the very serious wealth eroder and thus it is important to understand whether the company is honest or not. How do we check this? How do we know this? Easy. Search the company's name along with the word fraud or bad issues in Google. For example, we know Satyam Computers bankrupted. So if we type Satyam Computers fraud in Google, this helps us to find out more about the company, like why it is bankrupted, what's the bad issue, etc. Again, it's not just limited for bankrupted company but also for the live public company as well. For example, if we type Vedanta fraud in Google, it will give all the issues Vedanta got, all the troubles they had in the past and all the possible troubles they will have in the future. I mean, when the issue goes away, the stock price will recover, I agree, but why do we need to have that kind of trouble? So my first recommended step to assess the management is to understand the fraud or the bad issues that the company got. Next, second, we need to look at the salary of the top people like managing director or CEO. I mean, we can get this information easily on the annual report. For example, let's take Sun TV Network. I'm googling it as Sun TV Network Investor Relation. Then we will get this list of websites. On top, the official one, and in the bottom, all the general financial websites, they also provide the annual report. Here, their official website is not reachable, so I'm downloading their annual report from the Trendline website. In that annual report from the financial section, we know the company on the last financial year, they made 1,674 crore rupees, which is really good, no problem there. However, if you see the director's salary, first executive chairman Kalanidhi Maran's salary, it's 87.5 crore rupees. Then the other 2 executive directors, Kaveri Kalanidhi Maran's wife, also taking the salary of another 87.5 crore rupees. And finally, Kavya Kalanidhi Maran's daughter, she is also taking 1.2 crore rupees as salary. So basically, promoter's family itself taking the salary of 176.2 crore rupees, which is more than 10% of the net profit. I mean, this is completely ridiculous. Here, promoter owns the major chunk of the stock. For that itself, he will get dividends. In addition to that, here they are taking over 10% of the net profit just as a salary. This is a problem for us since it includes our money, I mean shareholders' money. Understanding this is very important. Here, instead of helping the business to grow, they are taking the money as their big salaries. In that 10%, near 50%, I mean 5% of the net profit will just go as their income tax. That money could have been used to grow the business further or invest in new areas. To be honest, if the company's share value goes up, then the promoter's share value also grow too. Then why taking big salary and paying that chunk as their income tax? Here, Sun TV is the established big company which is there for around over 30 years. But if it is a new small company and they are taking this really big salary, then that is the huge problem. This might make them not to care much about the business because they are already getting lot of money out of this business. Then you might ask, what is the good salary? It has to be less than 1 to 2%. If stocks and company did really well in that financial year, then that might increase up to 3%, but not more than. Now, let's see the good example. We know Mahindra & Mahindra. It is also a family-owned legacy business like Sun TV Network. In FY 2023, Mahindra & Mahindra made over 10,280 crores profit. This is really good, and the chairman Anand Mahindra for the financial year 2023, he took only the salary of 5.14 crore rupees, which is less than 0.05% of net profit and way less than our target 1%. This is the real good example. In fact, M&M CEO Anish Shah taking salary more than the chairman. It's like little above 13 crore rupees. And it's understandable, between 2009 to 2013, 2014, Anish Shah was the CEO of General Electric. So he got the reputation of good corporate governance. He knows how to run the big business. Hence, M&M's board hired him for his talent, and so they are paying extra than the chairman. That is acceptable, and salary comes around 0.12%, which is also way less than the 1 to 2% of our target. Again, I can highlight lot of company as examples like this, and it's a completely red alert if the company didn't perform well and the management is taking higher salary means. So I always recommend to check the salary and commission of the top management. If it's less than 1% of the profit, it's good. Sometimes 1 to 3% is okay for a big company, but it should be always reasonable and explainable, like why they deserve that. Then the third thing is to check whether the company's management care about us, the shareholders, people who own the shares. If they're making the business better and earning more profit, that's great. It probably means the share price will go up, but they can do more for us, like paying some dividends to us and performing the buybacks. Here, the technical term for that is dividend payout ratio. I mean, why it is important? Let me explain this. There are two reasons for this. Imagine a company is making 100 crores profit. They need 25 crore rupees to keep the business running smoothly for any contingency purpose. And they plan to invest 25 crore rupees in new projects. So basically 50 crore rupees is used, but still they have 50 crore rupees of profit more left, and it is sitting idle in the company's bank account as unused. This is where everything goes wrong. Always with excess money in bank, either management will make poor decision about where to invest those 50 crore rupees, or somebody in the top management will do some fraud with it, or more importantly, management might cookbook the financials. In this case, the correct thing to do is give back those 50 crore rupees to shareholders as dividends. I mean, let's say we invest long term, like say 30 years in the companies, and we retired. In this case, unless we sell all those companies' shares back, we won't make any money. We can't live with the investment since we won't get any money back from the company. That's the exact reason why Microsoft always trades in higher P ratio than Google, even though both of them are having roughly same revenue, and even in their business model, Google is more monopoly than Microsoft. Since in the history, Google never paid dividends to the shareholders, whereas Microsoft regularly pay the dividend. So in Google case, unless we sell that stock back, we won't be making any money. Now, let me give a very good example. Company called Motherson, which is pretty famous. Motherson always makes a 5-year plan. They tell us their goals for things like how much money they expect to make, what's the business objective for the next 5 years, and how much they want to pay as dividend. For example, if we went to their website, we can see those. They are doing this from 1995 onwards, and in the end of 5th year, they also update whether they achieved those objectives or not. Let's say for 2015, in 2010, they had a plan to target $5 billion US revenue and 70% of the revenue to come from outside India, also expand to 26 different countries and paying out at least 40% dividend of the profit. As you see here, in 2015, they updated what they achieved. In fact, in 2020, we know what happened all around the world. So that year, they haven't achieved the revenue target, but still management did update those not achieved poor results as well when 2020 ends. Similarly, for 2025, they are targeting 36 billion US dollars revenue. I mean, time will tell whether they achieve or not. But my point is, this is how the management should be. This is really good. Investors know from this one page what and how company is doing. And they are paying over 40% of their net profit as dividends. So they do care very much about shareholders. They are not just focused on increasing the share value. They also want to share their profits with us through dividends. Then the fourth and final important thing, return on capital employed, ROCE. I mean, in the financial section, I will explain this in detail, but today let's understand why is it important. Imagine two companies, each making 100 crores profit. One company doesn't know how to use this money well. They invest in some random business and loses all of it. So here their profit and the shareholders' money all are gone. This is not good. In the other case, if a company also makes 100 crores profit, but they know how to invest this money wisely, they might grow their business or put money into new few areas. This is smart because it can increase the value of their shares in the future. So in one financial metric, we will know how the company efficiently using our money. Hence, when we are looking at a company share to investments, we need to check this number. It tells us how they are handling their profits. The good number should be above 25%. So these are the 4 items we need to look in the management. First, is there any scam or bad issue in the company? Second, how much salary the top management is taking? Third, are they paying healthy dividends? Finally, how efficient they are with the company's profit reinvestment. So that's it. I hope you find it useful and interesting. Just a disclaimer, don't make any investigation based on this. If this is just for educational purpose only, please do consult your financial advisor before investing. Thanks for watching.